what are the things that we need to remember when we are doing a over the phone interview? So here's the do's and don'ts during the call or doing the over the phone interview. So once again, this is Badass Riri, and if you're new to the business or to my channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell for more updates. So again, I've been working in a BPO company for more than 4 years now. And disclaimer, this is, I'm not saying that these tips will work to each and every one. Of course, we have different techniques in terms of how we handled over the phone interviews. But let's get into the topic.
Don't act like you forgot. I call a shot. Like blah, blah, blah. Y'all should know me well.
So here are the do's and don'ts during the call. So first is, do use Mr. or Mrs. followed by the interviewer's last name. Only use the first name if they ask you to. Because as we all know, Americans are different from Filipinos. So we are Filipinos, we address superior by calling them ma'am or sir, or we said po to them, or ate or kuya, tito or tita if we are addressing the higher person than us. But in the United States, or when you are working in a BPO company, we don't call ma'am or sir all the people who are working in the BPO. So we normally address them by their last name, or if they wanted to be called on by their first name, or if they do have a nickname. So like me, I wanted to be called Ashley. So every person in the on my team or in the company called me Ashley. So number 2, don't smoke, chew gum, eat or drink. Of course, even if it's over the phone interview, it's better to make sure that we pronounce the word properly and correctly. Avoid those chewing gums or whatnot, because it gives you a different sounds when you are talking, and it might prevent you from pronouncing the right word. Okay, so do keep a glass of water handy, though there's nothing worse than having a tickle in your throat or a cough starting when you need to talk on the phone. So have a glass of water ready, so you can take a quick sip if your mouth gets dry. So when we are doing an over the phone interview, of course the nervous is there, and you have to think of the words you need to say when you are answering the questions of an interviewer. And of course, as we keep on talking and talking, your throat might dry, or your mouth get dry. So you have, at least a bottle of water so you can sip and refresh yourself. So whenever you need to answer another questions, you will not gonna interrupt by coughing or whatnot. Alright? Next, do smile. So smiling will project a positive image to listener and will change the tone of your voice. So if it can also be helpful to stand during the interview, since this typically gives your voice more energy and enthusiasm. So when you are talking to a person over the phone, make sure that you smile, because it's give a happy and positive tone throughout the conversation. Because if you're not smiling, this is sounds like. So I'll give you an example. When you're talking while you're smiling and talking with just neutral face. So like for example, tell me about the interviewer asks you to tell you about yourself. So when you're smiling, this is how it sounds like. Yes, my friends used to call me Ashley. I got that name when I was in second year high school to Pussycat Dolls. So one of the members is Ashley Roberts, and I really, really love her so much. I love the way she move and sing. So that's the sounds when you are smiling. But when your face is neutral, and will be sounds like, yeah, my name, you can call me Ashley. I got that name from the Pussycat Dolls. One of the member is Ashley Roberts. So you will see the differences. So if you're smiling, the sound is a bit and energetic, while if you are your face is just relaxed or on a neutral face, the sound is monotone and sounds like you're not interested doing that over the phone interviews. Okay, next is do focus, listen and enunciate. It's important to focus on the interview, which can be harder on the phone than in person. Be sure to listen to the question, ask for clarification if you're not sure what the interviewer is asking, and speak slowly, carefully, and clearly when you respond. If it's fine to take a few seconds to compose your thoughts before you answer. So like For example, the interviewer asks you why we should hire you. Dang, 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 dang. So of course, you have to think what are the things or what is your qualities for them to be able to be part of the company. So you have to make sure that you focus on the things that you can do. This is normally a bit challenging for those folks who doesn't have or doesn't have an experience working in a BPO. But when you have already an experience, you just tell you just have to tell all the experience that you had, and that's it. And just take brief interviews about yourself and personality, reason why living, so on and so forth. But for the newcomers or the newbies who's planning to be part of the BPO industry, so this is difficult. So they're gonna ask you why we should hire you, why we should not hire you, or whatnot. So make sure that you focus and listen. And of course, if you're working in a BPO company, make sure that you have a good communications skill to be able to answer all, to make sure that you understood the question and you answered it properly. Okay. Next is don't interrupt the interviewer. So me personally, I cut off the interviewer when they're speaking most of the time, and even when I'm doing a phone calls, sometimes the customer is just not yet done talking or bending out their problems. I cut them off just to make sure that I already have my thought. So when the customer is talking, I already organize my thought. So when I'm sure of that, I interrupt the customer and talk and provide all the information that I have in order to address the concern. But that's very wrong. Don't follow me. You will follow the light. Chatting. So yeah, don't interrupt. Listen first and take a few seconds to inhale and exhale. Think of the word or think of the answer that will help you to get into or answer that questions correctly. Next is do take your time. It's perfectly acceptable to make a moment or two to collect your thoughts. Of course, this is not a car race that after the interviewer said go, then you just answer the questions right away. You have to take a pause and think of the organize your thoughts in order for you to answer it correctly, grammatically correct, and whatnot. So make sure that it's organized. Like for example, how will you get here to the office? First, I have to ride a jeep. Second, ride a tricycle. Third, ride a bus or whatnot. So you have to make sure that it's organized, not just by telling them I ride a jeep, tricycle, and bus. And you just have to figure it out, something like that. So make sure that it's organized in order for the interviewer to understand what is your point. Next is do take notes. It's hard to remember what you discussed after the fact, so take a brief notes during the interview. So if you can, like what my recommendation says, when you're doing an over the phone interview, make sure you use headset so you will be hands free. So whenever that you can hear the interviewer properly and can conversate with them properly, and you can take down notes. What are the questions and whatnot, and other instructions that was provided to you over the phone. Next is do give short answer. It's important to stay focused on the question and your responses. So make sure that you answer the questions on point, not by you're like something running around the bush. That you're on the point, but it's just that you're running around the circle. So make sure that it's on point and you satisfied the interviewer's needs in terms of asking or answering the questions. Next is do have questions ready to ask the interviewer. So be prepared to respond when the interviewer asks whether you have any questions to him, for him or her. Review these questions to ask the interviewer and have a few ready in advance. So make sure that you also ask the interviewer, like for example, can you give me an example, Betch? Questions to ask to the interviewer. When can I start? Something like that. So you are very positive that you already get the job. What else? Did I pass? No, it's not. No. What else? Ayan. So yeah, since we do have this pandemic, you can ask what are the things or what are the plans of the companies for their employees to prevent the COVID, or what are the things that they can do to help the employee in terms of this global pandemic. Last is, do remember that your goal is to set up a face-to-face interview at the end of the conversation. So after you thank the interviewer, ask if it would be possible to meet in person. But in BPO, after you pass the initial interview, you were required to go to the site if there's an account specific that you need to undergo exams or contract signings, or if there's an operations or final interview that needs to conduct by the operations manager. So you need to be on site. So just make sure that you wear smart casual, not just wearing pants and t-shirts. So it should be smart, always smart casual. Okay? So again, thank you for watching this video, and I hope this helped you some of the do's and don'ts during the call. And if you have any suggestion, don't forget to click the notification bell and the subscribe button for more updates. I'm willing for more I wanted you to put a comment so I can, give you more examples about this, your journey applying in a BPO company. Once again, this is Badass Riri. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and share. Bye!